hora, pero solamente unos minutos antes de salir recibimos llamada que podrían en las próximas horas nosotros recibir visas para un tercer país. Todavía no estamos en libertad de decir qué tercer país es para el otro grupo de cubanos, y hay otras personas que queremos ayudar. Briefly, I must say that we are very grateful to God and to everyone who has been searching for the truth. In this case, we welcome the press from the Bahamas and the people who are here from the Bahamas, and the leaders of the Haitian community that are here with us. Marlene Bastien and Marlene. Yes. We welcome everybody from the Bahamas because we want the Bahamian people to know the truth. This is not against the Bahamas. This is a search for the truth. And we have said that from the beginning, and we're praying to God that God allows us to demonstrate to the Bahamian people that we do care about them, that this was just the wrongdoing of a group of people, that it did not even represent the rest of the armed forces of the Bahamas or the police forces of the Bahamas, and we fully understand that, but the truth is not completely out. It's only a little bit of it. I will read a letter, an improvised, kind of improvised because it's the draft. The letter will be given to me a little bit later, but I'll give you the idea in English of what we are sending to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the Honorable Perry Glasgow Christie. Honorable Prime Minister, because we are people of faith in search of the truth, we come to you after the many sad reports that are now coming out publicly, vindicating our claims of gross human rights violations, in the hope that you will set aside your defensive attitude and deploy a true will to address those gross human rights violations being committed against undocumented migrants detained under your jurisdiction. As you're aware, the episode of torture by the guards against a group of detainees that has been leaked to the media is only the tip of the iceberg what really went on at Carmichael Road. There is much more to be investigated, according to accounts of horrified victims. Unless these things are investigated and brought to daylight, we have no choice but to continue to advocate for the truth to come out. But there is an alternative, and it rests entirely on your goodwill. Mr. Christie, women at the center were harassed and exploited sexually by the guards in order to be able to survive, according to the recorded and on-the-phone testimonies that we have from the victims, a sample of which we have available for you. The children were exposed to the harsh environment of oppressed adults, witnessing beatings and sexual misconduct of the guards, and to the spraying of tear gas on them by the guards. A 10-day-old child had to be submerged in dirty water when the guards forced the mother with her child in her arms into the building where they had just sprayed the tear gas. A Guyanese man died before the horrified eyes of the detainees, claiming for his medication and medical attention. All this while the guards stood making fun of him while the detainee gave the man mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Do we need to say any more before we hear from you the good news that you will immediately make all the victims and witnesses available to the press and investigators, not only for the horrible incident already exposed by the leaked police report, but also for all the other crimes committed by a group of guards in the Carmichael Center against women and children detained there? We are not looking for revenge, sir. We're looking to impede that those same people will commit the same acts in the future when everybody goes about their daily lives and forget this tragic episode. Mr. Prime Minister, by you suddenly repatriating the victims and witnesses to Cuba in the midst of an investigation, when they had visas to go to Panama, you acquired a moral and perhaps judicial duty to vindicate such unfortunate decision. We respectfully ask for you to commit yourself to requesting from the Cuban government not to be threatening with reprisal those victims and witnesses that you suddenly repatriated to Cuba in order to have them change their testimony. Please ask the Cuban government to make them available to the investigators and the press immediately. Since we wrote to the government of the Bahamas